Okay, so I just found this picture and I'm just putting this video out. This is a picture of a young Marilyn Monroe, very young, before she was a movie icon idol. Now, partially made up, but also unformed, changed. Is this even Marilyn Monroe? I have to ask myself. I've seen millions of photos of this particular ideal version of a woman, which is also a fabrication because it's not an original created woman. And this woman actually couldn't create too, which I think this is all part of what we call the matrix, where you're given a lot of clues as to the true identity of your demigods or your famous ones, your world stage players. In other words, people that you've heard of, or you may have heard of, that a lot of people have heard of. Many people who've never watched a movie might still know the name Marilyn Monroe. They might not know much about this particular being, but they would have a vague idea, just as I know many well-known, famous world stage performers that I really know nothing about, but I've heard their name. They're what they call household names, you know. Usually they're the top of a particular profession or a particular power play in the earth. But is this Marilyn Monroe? Is this a one-eyed demigod? See, we have the... I don't think I'm explaining this very well, but that is a disturbing image in the background too. I don't even want to film this or make this particular video, but I'm doing it because it came up, so I can't help it. But I think I might try to show it doesn't look like Marilyn Monroe at all, does it? Now, all the point that disturbs me about Marilyn Monroe, and always has, because I've been familiar with this movie idol since I was a child. That's a long, long time, because I'm, you know, been around for quite a long time. This particular movie idol was famous just before I was born, really, but only just, and then became resurfaced as a movie legend in about 1970, when all of a sudden the legend started to reform, because many famous people, actresses, actors, even though, as you know, we now call them actors, and that is actually more appropriate because they're telling you that they're all one in the same, that they're a duality, divine, false demigod of earth. False only in the sense that all idols are false, we're told this. So you shouldn't worship anyone. In other words, you shouldn't try to be someone else, because it makes you feel less at a subconscious level, we're told, and this is probably so, particularly if you're not benefiting from it, and you usually aren't. It's those that are worshipped that benefited from the audience, because they get your energy and you give your energy, your attention, your trust or your devotion, or even just your watching to them. And this is a false image here. False in many ways, I would say, because I thought I had seen most of the images of this movie, God, but in reality, new ones pop up because they change the images. They manipulate the photography. Many people have names for this. It's just where they add things into a photograph, or they morph or warp the photo to make it look slightly different. But this is supposed to be an original early young photo of Marilyn Monroe. Now, the only reason I'm doing this video is because this, normally, I would say that normally when you are very young, particularly say in your teens, early 20s, at a timeline, you normally look at your most pretty and your most youthful, all this sort of thing. Now, I'm not saying that you can't develop with the help of enhancements to make yourself more refined and into something very glamorous, as the movie stars do. But normally you will see something natural and beautiful at a young age. That's what I would say. Natural and beautiful. In other words, without enhancement. Now, this is a very young photo, and yet if I look at this young photo, which many doctors will actually probably explain how it was actually changed, but you will see close here, the eyes are too old for this young photo. Maybe this is like, I'm not sure how old this particular photo is proclaimed to be, but it would have to be, I'm guessing that it would have to be 16 to 18 at the most. It could even be slightly younger, but I'm guessing that it's 16. It could be 14. I'm not sure if it was taken before the marriage. The early marriage, I think, which took place, I think, at 14 or 16, the original first marriage before this particular transformed human being became the famous movie star of the 1950s and 2 years into the 60s before departing, because that was the creation of the legend, is largely because of early departure, because those that shine bright and fast and finish early, shall we say, shine the brightest, because you don't see the truth, you don't see the decline, and you don't see what they really are often. Not that it always matters, but I'm just trying to get that image in, if I can, but I don't think I'm getting it in. I don't think I'm showing it properly. It looks older than very young and less vibrant than the old in some ways. I don't know, there's something disturbing about it, and I can't put my finger on the truth, as they say, as the song goes, because I've done that song. And of course the demigods and the YouTube players will of course do all the songs too, because it's a transhuman internet where the few humans are used for the humanity in order for the artificial intelligent beings to dominate the internet. These are all divine androgyne beings, just as this is your original movie, Legend, divine androgyne android being. Yes, it's hard to believe, but it's not so hard to believe when you look at these photos. I've always been disturbed by the early images of Marilyn Monroe, always. Wondered how the childhood and early photos are so vastly different from the transformed, well-known, famous images. And even the movie legacy, shall we say. I don't know how to explain this because I didn't plan on making this video and it's all on spec. But that eye is totally different to a later eye of Marilyn Monroe. And yet a young eye should be more youthful, more vibrant, more open than something older. Yes, of course, they are made up and transformed and changed by the Hollywood process, as they say, and that is true. But the reason they are so transformed is because they are born a different way. That's why they look different. A lot of the movie stars look incredibly different when they're children, and why there's so few photographs or images of their early times. And this also depends on whether they were artificially created closer to what they're to become too, I think. Because you know yourself, in even the human race, you can have different denominations, different human beings that look more like one than the other, shall we say, or some will look more soft, some will look more hard, if you follow my gist. That is not the eye of Marilyn Monroe or the later Marilyn Monroe. It's different. It's not only different, it's not wide open. And of course, even the different eyes and the different features of different human beings can be very similar. A man or a woman can be very similar in their features at times, but the overall will be of a totally different structure. I'm just, I'm explaining the very obvious, but what am I trying to show here? Because this photo just came up. And also the, why does a very youthful, beautiful, between child and grown up, look like that? It's smiling, but it's I don't know how to explain. Don't know how to explain it, but I think that the best way that I can explain it, and I'm going to try to ignore everything else if I can, is to show, this is not a negative image. But it's only when you find the disturbing differences, the what you know, the differences, the phenomenon of the discrepancies. That's what I'm getting at. Forgotten cinema. Yeah, it's forgotten what's happened here. It's all like, oh, I don't know how to explain it. How do you explain these things? How do you explain those things? How do I explain it? 1939, that was 1939. Okay, I just got that. I didn't realise that. That's 1939. Okay, so the whole thing has come up now. That's very... thank you, artificial intelligence. Thank you, the departed image of Marilyn Monroe from 1939. I'd have to figure out how old this one was at 1939. I can't do it on spec, but you can figure that out if anyone watches this video, which no one does, but so you can figure it out how old, because some passed on in 1962, 1962, doesn't matter. Oh, come on, Marilyn, tell me your secrets. Tell me your secrets. What were you really? How were you born? What were you created? How were you transformed? What were you originally? Who did you really serve? What did you really believe in and worship? Were you really an actor on and off the screen? Was everything about you fabricated, like most of what I see around me? Was everything just a joke on me? Did I believe you were real? Yes. Were you real? Were you real? You were real, but was everything you told me about yourself truth or dare? Dare you lie? Was everything the truth? Or was it all deception? Yes, you're a movie star, so I kind of expect that most was an illusion, most was deception. A beautiful illusion. A beautiful movie star. So I'm just going to wind through here and see if I can find a pretty image. I can't find, because I haven't watched this, so I'm not sure what images are. So I just want to finish up on my deception and my illusion. I just want to show you my fantasy, okay? What I believe. You know, what I believed. Oh, I've messed that one up because I was only trying to go on to certain images that I think might be the ones that are well known, that are kind of, you know, familiar and pleasant. See, that's pleasant in a way. Sorry that I can't, I'm sorry for myself that I can't pick the best images. See, if I was professional and not disturbed by this matrix, I could spend a lot of time playing with the videos, editing and them, making them very watchable. But instead I can't, because this just came up to me a half an hour before I decided to take the slightly quiet time to focus on that rare image that I hadn't seen. because I always think that I've seen most of the images of most movie stars. Oh, that's a pretty image too, isn't it? See, that is a pretty image because it's cute, of the same one. Oh, that's late. That, see the eye. The eye of the goddess. That's not this goddess, that's a different one. Oh, that's nice. That's okay. So I better stop here because I'm wasting my time doing this. But that's a height of fame image, even though it's also very more candid. It wasn't like a movie one. It was like supposed to be an outtake or like a you know, an classic photo. It was just taken by, but of course everything is really shall we say, you know, it's all like you know, even if you have a professional photographer that takes pictures of a movie star in a natural setting, it's still a stage photo. And all these things are designed that way, but it's not, it looks more natural. But that's still the same, that's still the famous movie idol. Trying to find the right words, but that's only because I'm trying too hard to impress here, so let me stop the video. I think maybe I'll stop the video here. There's many photos I could use, a billion photos of this most photographed woman probably ever, one of the most photographed women, as all famous ones are. Oh, I don't like that image. Oh, I don't like that image. I don't like some of the images because some of the images are almost disturbing and depressing. But of course that's just designed to make you believe that they're more human and to get you emotionally involved with particular movie actors, because it's one thing to fall in love with, you know, a seductive image or, you know, but they have to also get you, you know, emotionally stuck on these things, stuck in the matrix, because it creates a false image of what is real, what is natural, and what is a naturally conceived real human being, or just what is even a natural creator human being, because it's all about different beliefs and different spirituality, really. Some people might say different religions, but really it's just about what you think is the best, perhaps. Whether you are under total deception like I am, where I don't really know what really created you, what really, where you come from, or what your history is, or are you the same as the artificially intelligent human beings? Are you the same as a psychopath or those steeped in what we call Lucifer's malignant narcissus mind? Are you controlled by this mentality? Are you possessed by it? In other words, is it how you think? You can use all these different words and you won't, like myself, understand it fully. But it's really just different minds in similar bodies, but even the bodies sometimes can be representations of the mind, just as I showed you the famous demigod movie idol, where that is a different body, a different mind, a different being, a different but it's also, for a human being, it's probably total deception, I would say. Stopping the video here.